Welcome to OCD Clarity. My name is Luc, and today we arrived at step 10, and that is acceptance. And acceptance is a crucial part in reaching full recovery of OCD. A lot of people think that if they have severe OCD, that if they let their symptoms be, so leave the thoughts there, live their life regardless of how they feel, and do exposures, do mindfulness, they will fully recover from OCD. But in almost every case, acceptance is needed. And I discussed this in the OCD Clarity Action Plan, and I will continue reading, so please read along. A crucial step that is often overlooked is the way you perceive certain things determines how you feel. Acceptance is essential for recovering from OCD. You can allow thoughts and feelings to be present, maintain a solid life structure, gain insight into your obsessions and compulsions, stop your compulsions and continue doing exposures. But if you cannot accept yourself, the situation, your environment, or other people, recovery becomes much more difficult or even impossible. For example, if you still believe that you are a terrible person because you have POCD or because of your POCD thoughts or urges, and refuse to accept everything OCD throws at you regarding your pedophilia OCD, it will be impossible to get better. Another example is if you allow your bodily sensations to be present with sensory motor breathing OCD, for instance, but do not truly accept these sensations or this hyper awareness, the sensation will most likely persist and continue to trigger intense fear. Because you're still very scared of these sensations and can't accept this hyper awareness, you can't get rid of this hyper awareness because fear is designed to save your life, and your fear response in this instance is way too high because you have OCD, and it's an anxiety-based disorder, right? So there are several approaches that are important to explore and apply in getting better from OCD. 1. Acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT, focuses on accepting thoughts and feelings instead of trying to control or eliminate them. ACT assumes that resistance to uncomfortable obsessions, like thoughts, feelings, urges, actually reinforces them. That's the truth, guys. You learn to accept them and take action despite of their presence by focusing on what truly matters to you instead of avoiding discomfort. You can better manage your OCD and anxiety. Additionally, it helps you develop physical flexibility. So there is a book called ACT Made Simple by Russ Harris, and I would really recommend reading it. I have it also, and I think it's a very good book to see how you trying to resist these feelings, these thoughts, reinforces and make this problem worse. So, and that what you resist will persist, and allow acceptance is the way. So, 2. Stoicism is a philosophical school of thought that focuses on accepting what is beyond your control and developing inner peace through rational thinking. It teaches that emotions stem from our interpretation, and true well-being comes from living virtuously and in harmony with nature. Well-known Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus emphasized discipline, wisdom, and self-control as keys to a good life. It is important to cultivate a more stoic mindset. You can start by following Ryan Holiday on YouTube for Introduction to Stoicism, then move on reading works of Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus. So the whole Stoic movement is getting bigger right now, and it's very helpful for OCD because it explains that it is not the things that happen to you or the environment or the situation that that makes you feel depressed or angry or anxious, but it is the reaction on the situation that determines how you feel. And if we go to the third point of acceptance, and this is in line with the Stoic and ACT mindset, various forms of cognitive behavioral therapy. And one of them is REBT, and I find it very helpful. And so this RBT therapy has been developed based on Stoic principles, so that's really good. And I strongly recommend reading all the blogs, videos, and audio files by Dr. Walter J. Matwaychuk. He earned his PhD in school and clinical psychology from Hofstra University in 1990, specialized in cognitive behavior therapy, and has written extensively on topic of acceptance. From there, you can explore and read the books of Wendy Dryden. So within this CBT, and I will make more videos about this in the future, standalone videos, you will learn a lot about the Stoic mindset, and how you can refuse to make yourself miserable about anything. And so it's a crucial step. So, and he has a very nice blog. I think he started it around 2013, and he wrote multiple very lengthy blogs every month, and he intensively discusses and explains how this CBT is working, and I think this is the most important part to cultivate and really read. So, once again, I emphasize that acceptance is a step that cannot be skipped. Acceptance is something you gain through time, effort, and hard work. It doesn't just happen on its own, and it requires full focus. The goal of this step, acceptance, is to develop a more flexible attitude towards yourself, others, the world, and life events. It means adopting a more accepting stance toward things you receive but would rather not have, as well as things you want but do not get. It is about not becoming destabilized by both small and big negative or positive events, and become more balanced. And because we OCD sufferers are balanced, this is a very good practice and knowledge. Because OCD thrives on finding certainty, it will try to convince you that these steps won't work. Embrace uncertainty. As you've learned, OCD targets what matters most to you and what you fear most. Ultimately, it is important to accept even the worst case scenario for someone suffering from severe OCD. The possibility that you may never fully overcome it. So you will need to work through your fears and also through your worst case scenarios. Because, for instance, if I take myself as an example, when I had sensory motor OCD, my worst case scenario was not recovering and of this particular theme, and that I would notice my breathing sensation for the rest of my life. So I needed to make peace with the fact that there is a possibility that it would never go away. And that's very hard. It is the end goal, but you don't have certainty that that it all works out and that you will come to a place of acceptance, and you will and it is a utopia to think that you will never have that hyper awareness anymore. I still have moments in my life when an intrusive thoughts come in, unintrusive thoughts come in about my breathing, right? So um, just a thought like, what if I notice my breathing again for the rest of my life? But because I'm not scared of this worst case scenario anymore, it won't glitch, just like someone who hasn't OCD. And for instance, when another example, harm OCD, you will need to get to a place where you can accept yourself having these very intrusive, um, harmful thoughts about harming someone or a loved one. And also, the worst case scenario, accepting that there is a possibility that you could act on these thoughts. It's very strange, but, and that you could accept yourself if you did it. Otherwise, OCD will run your life. Another example, when I had when someone has relationship OCD and they're obsessing about the fact that their partner may leave them and they will be alone for the rest of their life, they need to have acceptance to their worst case scenario that there is a possibility that they will never find a partner again or never find a good partner again and will stay single for the rest of their life. And you do that through seeing, is it really that serious, or is it really that bad if I stay single for the rest of my life? And really work your way through this and have a more stoic mindset and a more accepting mindset, and not demanding that that you have what you want or need. So you prefer a more preferable mindset. Not is really the thing, because if you prefer something and you won't get it, that's not a horror, right? But if you need it and really put everything on it and you really need it, then it will become a problem. So this will help you in becoming more accepting. Sorry, someone called me. Just to sum up here, the last part, and I will repeat, ultimately, it is important to accept even the worst case scenario for someone suffering from severe OCD, the possibility that you may never fully overcome it. This is the ultimate step for most sufferers, but it is also a necessary one. If you place too much hope in recovery and make overcoming OCD a necessity, OCD will latch onto this and turn it into an obsession. I'm not saying you shouldn't want or prefer to get better, but if you place too much importance on it, it will backfire. This also doesn't not mean you are giving up on recovery altogether. You do your best. Especially when you're just starting out, this can be difficult to grasp, but it is a crucial step in finding peace in your recovery instead of constantly chasing it. So, guys, so the main takeaways here are acceptance is necessary for the most in most cases, and Act Made Simple by Russ Harris is a very good book, but also starting reading the blogs of Walter J. Matwaychuk. His website is rebtdoctor.com, and go to his blog session. It's free, and he will educate you about this CBT form, which is almost crucial in reaching full recovery. So this was step 10, guys. Almost at the end. We have still some steps to go, but please help me grow this channel. Give it a like, and see you in the next one. Thank you.